Hello mis amores and Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad y Buon Natale. That took way too long. And Frohe Weihnachten. And I'll see you in my next video. Why did that sound like an outro? But we're only just getting started, and we're only just getting started with the Christmas videos as well. I know I'm a little late, mainly because I never really realized it's December already, or almost Christmas time. I listen to Christmas music all throughout the year, and so that's literally the only thing I ever have to do with Christmas, except on Christmas Day. Actually Christmas Eve, and then Christmas is over for me. Actually, this video comes at the perfect time, I think, because in this video we're gonna make little edible Christmas gifts that you can give to anyone who means something to you, or someone you feel like you have to give something to, but like you don't want to spend too much money on, and it's just like a little treat. Like, I acknowledge your existence. But at the same time, it can be for someone who means a lot to you. Because obviously you put love and effort into what you're making, and then you can be like, I made this for you because I love you. Whoever receives your gift will never know if they're just being acknowledged or if they're being loved. Anyway, I feel like homemade gifts are always a cute idea. And not everyone is into like DIYing things. My god, nothing scares me more than her voice. Yeah, not everyone is into DIYing. I am, but not everyone is. Not everyone is into cooking or baking either, but some of them are pretty easy and anyone can do them. The first one is actually something that I would not be super duper happy to receive myself. We're gonna be making fudge, particularly Russian fudge. I think you can wrap it really nicely, and so it does make a cute little gift if that person is into fudge or could potentially be into fudge. I know many people are, maybe not so much in Germany. Also, I feel like in the last 6 kitchen videos, I've made a version of fudge, sometimes intentionally and sometimes not so much. I think we're well equipped for this first fudge recipe. You just need a little patience and not a lot of things, but here are the things that you do need. 300 grams of sugar, 60 milliliters of milk, 76.5 grams of condensed milk, 62.5 grams of butter, and half a tablespoon of golden syrup, or any other syrup I think should work. Also, this is half the recipe, so if you've got a lot of people to give gifts to, you might want to make double what I just told you to use. First, we start off by dissolving the sugar in the milk on a stove top, obviously. Not a lot of milk. Also, in the meantime, I'm gonna grease some sort of something that we can then pour it into. Because I made that mistake last week with my brittle. I am going to look up temperature Russian fudge. Okay, so that comes later. But we have a temperature, ladies and gents, and those who do not
subscribe to either.
Yeah, I think it's gonna dissolve eventually, right? Once dissolved, we're gonna add the syrup, the butter, and the condensed milk. Now we're gonna let all of that dissolve and eventually hope it boils. And then let it sit for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. And I think it's supposed to reach a temperature of about 120 degrees Celsius. Ooh, Spotify Wrapped just came out. I don't use Spotify, but please tell me you're wrapped. Look at it simmering or boiling almost 15 minutes. That's long. Well, that might be long, but it's also basically the last step now already. It's supposed to reach a golden brown color, although with the syrup that I've used, it's almost there already, but we're gonna look for the temperature. Then I'm just gonna pour it in here and let it cool. So I also found another recipe that once we take it off the stove top, adds a little bit of vanilla to it. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract just because I feel like this could add a nice touch. I'm not sure if you guys can tell whether or not it has darkened a little. It has definitely reached the temperature, so I'm gonna turn off the heat now. Actually, I'm supposed to take it off the heat and let it cool a little bit. See, I was trying to follow a TikTok and that was very incomplete, so now I'm just reading another recipe. Let's stir in a little bit of vanilla. Now we wait for it to reach 80 degrees Celsius because now we have to beat the fudge with an electric mixer for about 5 minutes until it thickens. So this is definitely kind of thick-ish now. I don't want my fudge to be too thin, so I'm just gonna put it in here now. I must have done a really great job. Actually, it's like hardening very quickly. Like, calm down, I want it smooth. I fear I might not be able to smooth this out properly. They always look a little bit DIY. Excellente. Let's try this. I don't know about this. We'll set this aside to set, and then I'll be back. Hi. Our what's it called, toffee? Fudge. What's the difference? I will not wrap it beautifully because I will just probably eat it myself and not give it to anyone. Obviously, it's very easy to make this look pretty and wrap this as a gift. And this is what it looks like. It's like crunchy. It's supposed to be more of a brittle fudge. How do we get it out? Oh, has this set properly? I'll check back in tomorrow to see if it changes. Yeah, no, this hasn't set properly yet. Yeah, I mean, it's nice fudge. I guess I could have added more vanilla. I don't know, is there something you can add to this to make it a little bit more exciting? Really great for people with a sweet tooth. Perfect gift and really easy. This is still very chewy. It's not as brittle as I was told. I guess yet again something went wrong with the temperature, although I was very meticulous about it. There's no way I did anything wrong, but yeah, as you can see, it's still very chewy. I think you can still use it and eat it. It's just like a soft fudge now. Oh, I can't eat that. Yo, we're not done with the gifts. I mean, obviously, because we've only done one so far. This next one I'm really excited about because I'm gonna gift this myself. I like salt. I am a believer in salt. I don't love many things, but salt is one of them. And we all know, like, seasoned salts. Sometimes they taste good and sometimes they don't, and they definitely don't feel super fresh. But what if you made it yourself? You wonder? And I actually never wondered, but I realized we can just make it ourselves and then give it to someone that we acknowledge or that we love. We're gonna need some herbs, a little bit of garlic, and just some salt. Technically coarse salt. I thought we had loads, like we have so much salt for some reason, and I thought we also had coarse salt, but I'm sure that it's gonna be fine. In the end, we're gonna blend it anyway. So I will be using 100 grams of sea salt, 4 garlic cloves. The rest of the herbs I'm just eyeballing because what do you mean cups? Anyway, fresh chives, fresh sage, and fresh rosemary. We're basically just gonna very finely chop this. I feel like I should have gotten basil because like basil is my favorite herb. I think I need to sharpen my knife. For me that deathless. Can anyone in this world say sharpen my knife without singing that song? I think this is a universal experience. Ask your great grandmother, she will say the same. Your newborn child probably came out the womb like that. Now we just add the sea salt. Wow, we're son, mix it all together. I fear I might have to add a little bit more salt because my proportions are a little bit off. Oh, I'm so tempted to try this. Now, just line a baking sheet. We're basically just gonna spread it on this baking sheet in a very thin layer. About 94 degrees Celsius for half an hour. Stirring halfway through. You have to put like a wooden, what's it called again? Anyway, you have to put it into your oven door so it doesn't close completely because we want the moisture to get out. Ta-da! Well, it looks so beautiful, right? It should be really dry now, but it's obviously still very coarse because I can't chop herbs like that. So I'm just gonna blend it now. Wow! Look at the pretty color. It never comes across on camera, but it is a really nice, pretty green. By the way, I asked you about your Spotify Wrapped, and I just realized that the Apple Music Wrap was also just released. And I'm shocked. I don't really know what to eat this with now. How do you try salt? That's garlicky, I think. Got a bit of this like very German bread, to which we're gonna add a bit of butter, some salt. I mean, I do want to taste it, but like obviously it's also salt, so Oh, that was too much. My bread has a very strong flavor. You can't really taste it with that. Okay, maybe that's enough. I think it's garlicky and that's about it. But obviously they will smell it and it does smell very herby. Very garlicky too, but very herby as well. I believe this still makes a great gift. I mean, that's cute, like this in smaller and then just a nice ribbon on top. Cute and beautiful. Finally, I can reveal recipe number 3. Okay, a couple of days ago for you, I visited my sister and I ate something. Shocker. I actually found something in the fridge that she didn't really like, but I did. And it was like an onion jam situation, and I put it on top of literally everything, like cream cheese, normal cheese, anything else that I ate that I don't quite remember eating. But it was so good, and thinking of this video, I realized, oh my god, I have to make this myself. It fits this theme perfectly. You make this just like any other type of jam really, but you do have a couple of other ingredients. I mean, jam technically is just fruit and sugar. Here's what you need. Obviously, you already know about the 500 grams of red onion that I have cut into quarters and then thinly sliced. You also need 150 grams of brown sugar, pepper and salt, 1 bay leaf, 1 sprig of rosemary. This is about 6 sprigs of thyme, but I'm like, is this 1 sprig? Or is this entire thing 1 sprig? 2 Wacholderbeeren, which I have no idea what the English word for is. Juniper berries. June. It's from a movie, right? Juniper. Who's called Juniper? 200 milliliters of balsamic vinegar and 2 tablespoons, like German tablespoons, of olive oil, which is about 20 milliliters. That is it. Oh, by the way, the recipe I got from my sister's mother-in-law, so she made that jam actually. So I have a very dimly lit recipe. Ooh, also, you obviously need these, like, I don't know, twist of whatever they're called. Before we start anything, we're just gonna, like with the juniper berries, we're just gonna crunch them a little bit. We're also gonna separate these from the sprig and do the same with the thyme. Now we have to fry the onion in the olive oil. See guys, I'm a really bad crier. Not even cutting the onion made me cry. The only thing that can get me to cry apparently is going outside when it's windy. Embarrassing. Okay, only until they're like transparent-ish, which I think we have reached that point. Now we add the 2 juniper berries. I don't know what they're gonna do. Herbs and the bay leaf, a teaspoon of salt, and the sugar. Now let this stew a little bit, just for a little while. It doesn't really tell me for how long. Definitely until the sugar has dissolved, maybe even a little while longer. Then add a little bit of pepper. And finally, just add the balsamic vinegar. Now we let this boil down for about 20 to 30 minutes and we are gonna stir occasionally. Alright, so this has been boiling down for like almost 26 minutes. We're as good as there. I think in the beginning I thought there is so much juice and liquid that I was like, there's no way this is all gonna dissolve, but it did. This is super hot now. I need to concentrate now. So we're gonna get rid of the bay leaf. I think also a couple of like bigger rosemary stems that are still in there. Then as hot as it is, we're gonna pour it into our little glasses, which we're then gonna close as good as possible and then let sit on top of the lid for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, we're gonna turn it around and let it cool. And since I don't want to wait for this to cool, I just took a little bit off so that I can try it right now. You wouldn't usually eat this on its own, but ooh, very sweet. I'm sorry, but this tastes phenomenal. I could actually eat this on its own. It's kind of sour as well. Where does this sourness come from? It's very intense in flavor. It lasts up to 6 months if stored in a dark place. Perfect. Our final recipe. Yeah. Our final recipe, actually, I think it's an Italian thing, but I'm not sure. We're gonna make chocolate salami. Yeah, I don't know, it's really weird, but like if you squint your eyes, it actually does look like a salami. The idea of it is just really nice, mainly because we're gonna put pretzel in it, and pretzel and chocolate is like one of my favorite food combinations. It can only be good, right? You've got like pretzels and cookies and nuts that are covered in a chocolate mass and then formed into a salami form, really. And here is what you need for it. 200 grams of chocolate. I'm using a mixture of dark chocolate and milk chocolate. 150 grams of digestive biscuits. These are still the Maria cookies that I used a couple of videos ago for something that I made. 50 grams of pretzels, 80 grams of nuts, so I've got almonds and pecans, 90 grams of butter, 4 tablespoons of milk, and tomorrow we're gonna need some icing sugar to cover it. I'm just gonna cut the nuts into pieces and then also shred them into smaller pieces, as well as the pretzels. Now we melt the chocolate and the butter on the stovetop. Fingers crossed it works this time. Me and melting chocolate. Add the milk to the chocolate and stir or whisk until smooth. Now just add it to your shredded up everything, which seems a little bit strange to do. Mix it all together. Maybe use a little bit less of everything because I feel like I don't have enough chocolate. Now you dump it onto your parchment paper and shape it into a salami form. Sorry, this camera stopped working and I need to do this quickly because I don't want it to set and I want you to be able to see something. Yeah, I fear I have too much filling and not enough salami, but I don't know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it does look like a salami now. So this goes into the fridge until tomorrow, and then we just unwrap it and cover it in powdered sugar. Sun or no sun? Like this sun must be a Gemini, the way it's switching up. Well, it's gotten to be bright now. Good morning. We're gonna have a look at our salami. What else do you want to do in the morning? I mean, maybe there was a way to avoid it. Maybe I should have like rotated it every half hour. But obviously we have a flat bottom. I don't think it matters much. I can already tell that it looks a little different just because we can clearly see what's inside. In the reference video, everything was covered in chocolate. That's also what I suggested already, that I just did not have enough chocolate mix. Yeah, it was just way too much filling. I feel like mine isn't smooth enough to give salami. Let's at least try and turn it into what it's supposed to be by doing this. Dog poo covered in snow. I don't think any more powdered sugar will fix our situation. Maybe we gotta work the powdered sugar in a little bit more because otherwise it looks like powdered sugar. Okay, it doesn't look like a salami. I give up. With a nice ribbon on top or so, very Christmassy. And then you unwrap it and you're like, wow, that looks like a very coarse salami. That's what good salami sounds like. This proves my point. Not enough chocolate, too much filling. Measurements are all wrong. I'm certain it'll still be good. Why wouldn't this be good? This is straight out of the fridge, so maybe if the chocolate softens a little, it won't break as easily. But still, there's not enough chocolate for it not to break like that. For my own personal taste, I would definitely use less cookies and more pretzels just because I do prefer the flavor of it. I feel like all I'm getting right now is just the cookie and all I really want is the pretzel. I'm not gonna lie though, I could eat this up for lunch. And that brings us to the end of our Christmas gifts video, edible Christmas gifts. Hang on, all of the things that we've made are really, really good. Now, what about you? Do you make some like little DIY gifts or edible gifts usually every year maybe? What are your go-to ones? Anyway, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Pro Weihnachten, Buon Natale, and this time for real I'm leaving. Thank you so much for watching this video y entonces nos vemos la próxima vez. Bye.